Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battle Talk. Sunday after a loss. I am Don Battlehawk, and this is our logo. If you saw this logo or recognize this logo from one of the football cards that I gave away at the game, welcome to the show. I gave those cards away to make you happy, but also to maybe make you think about tuning into the show. A lot of kids were happy at the Battle Dome this weekend because of those cards. I could see by the look on their face. Now, I'm making an exception to the no merch after a loss rule because the Battlehawks were nice enough to give me this hat for free. It feels quality. It smells quality. It looks quality. It's got the Battlehawks logo, the Hats Off to Heroes logo with the UFL, little military ribbon thing there. And it's adjustable in the back, so one size will fit most. So I will wear that as a gesture of thankfulness to the Battlehawks, the UFL, and all that are a part of that. Now, let's go over the game. First quarter, Gamblers 14, Battlehawks 3. 2 touchdowns by the Gamblers with an extra point, a field goal by the Battlehawks. The second quarter, a touchdown by the Gamblers, but they failed to get the extra point. Little hopefulness injected there. The Battlehawks got 2 more field goals. All right, halftime. Posted the Ben Affleck meme of him smoking a cigarette with the Battlehawks shirt on. I think it did a little help to motivate the team. I don't know if they saw the meme or not. I know they're busy looking at memes on halftime, right? Nope, they were probably getting some kind of an inspirational speech. I don't know. It kind of worked, but not all the way. Because in the third quarter, the Gamblers got a field goal, but our defense really came alive and really produced and only held them to 3 points the second half. Our offense woke up a bit, but apparently not enough because in the third quarter, to answer those 3 from the Gamblers, the Battlehawks had a touchdown, so that's 6 points plus an extra point for 7, and the same in the fourth quarter. Now, our defense held the Gamblers to 0, but we got that touchdown and an extra point. And there we were in the 2-minute warning with just seconds left and right on the goal line, pretty much. And we were unable to get the snap off before the clock ended. And that was the end of the game. So the Battlehawks lost. But let's look at how our players did. Perez was 26 for 47, 308 yards. Howard, 31 yards rushing. McBride, 8 receptions, 116 yards. Those were our offensive leaders. Also, James, 29 yards, and Pearson, 54 yards in receptions. Now, defensively, our leaders, Peta had 2 sacks. Hawkins had 1 interception, and Jennings had 84 yards returning for kicks and punts and stuff like that. The offense felt uninspired. I'm not saying that they weren't inspired. I'm saying that it felt that way watching them. Perez don't run. Either he don't run because they don't want him to, or he don't run because he can't. I have a problem with that. Neville had a touchdown. Good on him. The defense wasn't all that bad, really, the whole game. They didn't seem like they were on point like usual, but it looked like they were putting pressure on the Gamblers' offense. It looked like they were doing it, that they were there. It felt like they were inspired. They just weren't able to execute because the Gamblers, for a lot of the game, were just playing better. I have a couple of their plays. It just made sense. I see how they did that. That was good. And the Gamblers playing better than the Battlehawks and the Battlehawks not playing better than the Gamblers is point 1 as to why we had the loss this week. That is the most important point above all the things that I'm going to say next. If the Battlehawks just played better, these other 2 points would be less of an issue or maybe not an issue at all. So don't take it as me whining and complaining. If the Battlehawks just played better, they would have gotten the win. It's clear. But I am going to go into this other sphere here. Point 2 supports that, what I just said. The O was off. But point 3, and it needs to be said because it's real, the officiating was trash. And crap rolls downhill. The trash started at Dean Blandino and rolled downhill. Inconsistent all season long. Fix it. The only complaint I should have is that the Battlehawks did not play as well as they could have. And it is a legitimate thing to say. And it is legitimately why we lost this game. But with such an emphasis on the lack of games that don't matter at the end of the season, like when they dismantled the divisions, the XFL division and the USFL division, because they wanted a more exciting playoff picture, I have to question whether or not, based on the calls made this week and the evidence of my eyes as I watch the video, if there isn't nudging going on. And I'm not surprised that it feels like there is official meddling, even if it's not so. The takeaway: the Battlehawks must do their best to win and win soundly. And I'm sure that they will next week against the same team. If you are winning and winning soundly, penalties matter less. I am sure it was necessary to schedule the way it was. I understand the UFL is not on the top of every venue's priority list. It is a second to third tier league with first tier league excitement. We are beating the NFL in spring football games. The NFL just cannot beat us with their spring football. That was a joke, just in case you needed to know. But we are beating the NHL and the NBA in most ratings categories. NBA final stuff, obviously, that's pulling some stuff in. It should beat us. If it doesn't, that's pretty sad. So I hope, and also if we were to fill these stadiums up more. But I don't like back-to-back games with the same teams. So, and I don't care who the teams are. So let's hope that we secure our playoff spot next week in this back-to-back and not be like DC where we lose back-to-back to the same team. I believe our guys can do it. Travis Feeney posted on X yesterday that they intend to, and I believe him. Now, I would rather this loss be now than later. This is my sports superstition. I'm going to use a baseball game as an example. Whenever my team wins 14-3, I am always worried about the next game being a loss because they scored all their runs in the previous game. And it happens more often than I would like. Now, statistically speaking, if you break it all down, maybe that's not true. But the Battlehawks have a hard time with clinchers, with big games at the Dome. So, they lost yesterday. Now, I know I said I would rather their next loss be next season, but they lost yesterday at the Dome. All right. Take it in the chin and move on. Win in Houston. You win in Houston, and then you're in the playoffs. And then whatever happens, happens the next week. Because we take it 1 week at a time. And then whatever happens, happens the next week. Because you take it one game at a time. And then whatever happens, happens the next week. Because you take it one game at a time. So, we got the L out of the way. It's better to get it out of the way now than getting it out of the way at a playoff game. Especially if that playoff game is at the Dome. I don't know where I don't do the math with that crap. I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Don Battlehawk. This has been Battle Talk. And I will see you probably on Monday.